Tinubu's actions prove some pro-democracy moves, yes. It proves some pro-democracy activists in the 90s were just jealous of what military was doing. Showore. And now to the news info. Human rights activist and convener of the Revolution Now movement, Comrade Omoyele Showore, has cautioned Nigerians about individuals who claim to have fought for democracy in the country. Na true, because is it not better that military is ruling us in this country? Speaking on Arise Television during a program on Godfatherism, Showore alleged that these individuals were not genuinely committed to democracy, but were instead driven by jealousy of the military juntas and a desire to seize power for their own benefit. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Showore argued that some of these individuals, now in positions of authority, have become even more oppressive than the military regime. I'm telling you that they once opposed. Military regime is not better than what we have now in this country. Because what Tinubu is doing right now, what does it look like? He never passed a military regime. He cited President Bola Tinubu's removal of democratically elected officials, including a sitting governor, a deputy governor, and the entire State House of Assembly, as a clear example of such authoritarian behavior. Showore also addressed the opposition in Nigeria, stating that people forming coalitions are not genuinely interested in removing president from power. Of course we know. Instead, he said they are seeking to replace him and his allies, driven by envy and a desire for personal gain. That one save day. He said some of the people who were fighting for democracy in the 90s weren't actually fighting for democracy. They were fighting because they were jealous of what the military guys were doing, that they wished they were in that position. True. And now that they have gotten to the position that the military guys were in the 90s, you could tell that what their interest was. It was to become as powerful as the military guys that they claimed they were fighting against. And if you look at their trajectory, their history, and the stories that came when they were in exile, you will know that they weren't fighting for democracy. They were just doing business. The activists stressed that state governors across Nigeria are united under the Tinubu administration. Most of the APC governors that we have, they are more united under Tinubu's administration, showing more loyalty to him than even his own party members. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Showore attributed this to the large allocations they receive, which he claimed they exploit to enrich themselves with impunity. Yes, so they don't care about the citizens. They rather just enrich their pockets than care about the citizens. They support him even more than governors from his own political party, and the reason is simple. They are getting massive allocations that they have never gotten before, stealing and getting away with it, and they cannot wish for a better time than now. So it is the reason why people like me have also warned Nigerians that during this period, you are going to see people who say they are forming coalitions, not because they want to get rid of Tinubu, but because they want to replace Tinubu and his own people, so that they can enjoy the benefit that he's enjoying right now. That's what they want. To also be in authority, to also command, to also do the things that Tinubu is doing right now, do things and get away with it, steal money and nobody will question you, do things that are not constitutional and nobody will question you and say, we'll just rant. And at the end of, look at all the rantings about him removing Fubara and all of that. What has happened? Nothing. We don't rant finish. We don't move on to another thing. So it's not as if they really want to get rid of Tinubu, but they want to replace Tinubu and his own people because they really envied them at the time and say, my goodness, we wish we were the ones in power. We could steal your money, we could do anything and nothing will happen. We can capture the state. That's why I mentioned to you that this is about state capture. Yes, so this thing is about state capture, and you see that at the end of the day, they are going to start declaring state of emergencies in more states, not just Rivers alone. You will see. Showore also addressed the Rivers State conflict, predicting that the allies involved will eventually resolve their differences, but at the expense of the people. He urged Nigerians to take control of their destinies, warning that the current leaders are not acting in their best interest. We can see. We know that they are not acting in our best interest, but are we ready to gain freedom? Are we ready to fight back? Are we ready to face these people? I don't think so. Noting that the sole administrator appointed by Tinubu to oversee the state affairs in the absence of the suspended democratically elected governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has made traditional rulers and former government officials. Sowore added, "You would think that nothing was wrong in Port Harcourt because all of them are one and the same, and that is why the Nigerian people must take their destinies into their own hands. As much as you might feel bad for one of the guys who has been headbutt in this bullfight, also don't forget that they don't stand for you because they will get away with this, and you know this is a clean crime. Of course, they are going to get away with it. They've justified their actions, so it's because they don't want crisis to start, and they rather face it head on than wait till the crisis begin before they do anything. That's their stand. And really, they are going to get away with it because it is indeed a clean crime." Sowore remarked the social movement like EndSARS and the Obedience Wave struggled to secure last political power due to a lack of clear planning and leadership. He stressed that achieving political power demands a solid and well-structured alternative, not just surface-level changes. He said, "You can't organize for power by doing what those people in power are doing. You cannot organize for power by presenting an alternative that is not substantial. That is just without substance. It is superficial." EndSARS was great, it was powerful response, but EndSARS had a problem. It was not organized around people who understood how to fight and fight to the end. Fight to the end when people were being killed. It is well. So those of us who started EndSARS were shunted aside because, of course, I was at that time restricted to Abuja, and then others who were declaring victory before the fight was over was what led to what EndSARS did, and then what followed, which you described as Obedience Wave. It wasn't about capturing power, it was about one political group replacing the other, and you saw the outcome. Why? Because when the opportunity came for that movement to have headbutted the system, they all folded up, because you cannot ask a pack of lions to be led by a sheep and achieve victory. It's not better they pack up, it's not better they folded up. Because those people, they were ready to do anything to remain in power, to get to that level of power in this country. And they are still continuing in that force, getting there by force, getting there by all means. It's not possible that is what happened with that movement, but I can tell you that a new movement is emerging and we should be guided. We should all join hands and ensure that this movement takes the power in the fight from online to offline, and we do it in a very sustained and sustainable way until we win, and that is happening, hopefully. Sowore concluded by expressing optimism about a new emerging movement which he believes has the potential to bring about meaningful change if done sustainably and with clear leadership. We hope for that. We hope that really works. That a new emerging movement would actually do something meaningful about what is going on in the country. We hope so. My listeners, over to you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.